We have to talk about Avalanche because there's something happening in 2 weeks that could finally bring the turnaround, that could finally help the Avax token outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum again. In this video, we're going to talk about on-chain analytics. We're going to talk about tokenomics. We're going to talk about demand and supply dynamics because we want to figure out where the price might be going from here. Now let's start off with the obvious. Let's start off with the total value locked on the Avalanche chain. This is according to DeFi Llama, and at one point there was more than 10 billion of total value locked on Avalanche. Now we are below 1 billion. We are at 860 million. So activity and capital locked on Avalanche is a far cry from where it used to be. A lot of that decline though was not because of less usage. It was mainly because of the Avax price going down. Why did it go down? More on that in a second. But have a look at the same kind of chart measured in Avax tokens, not in US dollars. In Avax, the decline wasn't that massive. And since beginning of the year, we actually see more total value locked on chain. So we don't necessarily have a chain that's massively growing, but we do have a chain that at least keeps its current user base and activity. And when the price is declining while activity stays stable, we could over time get a good deal. And we will figure this out in the relative valuation charts to Bitcoin and Ethereum. But let's first have a look at the on-chain usage. So this is a chart starting in August of 2022, and it shows how many Avalanche wallets are used every day. So we're looking at the transaction senders and receivers, and we don't see a ton of growth, but we also don't see this shrinking. This is a pretty constant, quite reliable number between 20 and 50k wallets per day. Here's the total gas used on Avalanche, also relatively steady. Here's the token transfers per day. The usage isn't exploding, but it's also not shrinking. And here we've got the number of traders on decentralized exchanges. Yes, we do have our run-ups, and yes, we do have our declines. Currently, we tend to be rather on the lower end. Now here's the thing with altcoins. Inherently, altcoins have more risk than Bitcoin or Ethereum. And because of that additional risk, we should expect more return, right? Why else would we take on more risk? And so I personally like to look at relative valuation charts. Are we actually outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum? Because on another note, we also see how those prices within crypto tend to always move in the same direction at the same day, right? When Bitcoin goes up and Ethereum goes up, then the altcoins tend to go up as well and vice versa. And so what really matters is simply, are we going to outperform the Bitcoins and Ethereums of this world? We can't diversify risk away by having different altcoins. We simply just want to get more performance. And so let's start with a few relative valuation charts. What we've got over here is Avalanche relative to Bitcoin, and we tend to be bottoming out at similar points. From bottom to top, we see rallies of outperformance of 700% in 2021 and 260% in 2023. And if you're going back to that support, we are facing an additional underperformance of roughly 18% versus Bitcoin. Here is Avalanche relative to Ethereum, a very similar chart. It tends to top out at similar levels. It tends to bottom out at similar levels. Here, the risk is slightly higher. An underperformance of 30, maybe 35% is very much within the historical norm. Now, what we've got behind me is the Avalanche dominance. So how much of the entire cryptocurrency market cap is attributed to Avalanche? Or in other words, how important is Avalanche? This tends to also oscillate. The top is at 1.3% of all of cryptocurrency's market cap. Currently, we are at 0.4%. And if the bottom in October of last year prevails, we have a potential risk of 30% underperformance overall in crypto. Instead of comparing Avalanche to the entire crypto market, we can also compare it just to the altcoins. So we exclude now the market cap of Bitcoin and Ethereum. When we do that, we see the following. Avalanche did not necessarily outcompete the rest of the market. The potential downside is 22%, 40%, on the very worst case, 50%. Now in all of those charts, we see how Avax tended to outperform starting in October of last year. What happened in October of last year? The stablecoin market cap saw a massive turnaround. So a lot of fiat was flowing into crypto again, starting from October of last year. So have a look at this. This is a chart starting in March of 2022 Over here, we've got the Terra Luna collapse, which started a decline in the stablecoin market cap. And then we have seen again a turnaround in October of last year. So this is how that works, right? Sometimes crypto contracts, sometimes it expands. And where money flows into crypto, altcoins have an easier time to outperform. Now, when we zoom in here, we see a bit of a problem. The stablecoin market cap isn't really growing that much anymore since April of this year. So in the last 3 to 4 months. And so it's not unreasonable to assume that Avalanche could continue to go down. And maybe, if we are lucky, we will reach this bottom when more money flows into crypto yet again. And then we could see our 2 or 3x outperformance again. I guess that's relatively reasonable. This needs to go to 1 million, or March buyers now will make millions. This is how you get the clicks on YouTube, but this is not how you beat the market. To beat the market in crypto, you need to be better informed than the rest. You need to be better skilled than the rest. You need to do better blockchain analytics. You need to track other people's wallets and know what is the smart money doing. It's the boring educational content that forms skill that doesn't perform so well on YouTube though. That's why I created the premium membership. Feel free to check it out. We are tracking influencer wallets to find out what they are buying before promoting this on YouTube. We've got a lot of tutorials to help with on-chain analytics, to help with wallet discovery. And of course, there are also plenty of chats where we help each other, and also one-on-one conversations with me. So I'm messaging every premium member one-on-one directly. Once you're joining, you will get a message from me and you have the opportunity to directly pick my brain. Feel free to check it out, thebitcointrader.com, link is down below. Now there's something very important to note, and that happens in roughly 2 weeks. And that has something to do with tokenomics. The reason why Avalanche over the long term tended to underperform Bitcoin and Ethereum is the token inflation. So there's simply more and more tokens floating around, and the higher the supply is, the more the price can get depressed. Have a look at the following. This is the Avalanche price over time. This is the Avalanche market cap over time. Do you see a difference between those two graphs? The main difference is that the price did not get anywhere close to the all-time highs. The market cap though did. And again, that's because there's way more Avax now floating than in 2021, 2022. It makes quite a bit of a difference over the long term. What's also interesting to note is that the market cap went up way more than the usage on chain. Again, there's way more money now locked up in the Avax token. We went very close to the prior all-time high, but here is again the total value locked on chain. Avalanche isn't used that much for DeFi and for leverage anymore. Now let me show you the event that I was talking about at the beginning of this video. What's happening here in 2 weeks? Avalanche long term was very inflationary, right? We started off with 40 million Avax tokens. Now we are more than 10 times of that circulating supply. Now let's take away the staking rewards. By the way, if you stake your Avax, you can get an APY of 7.6%. When you're not staking, you're getting diluted away. So make sure not to hold Avalanche without any reward for too long. But let's take away that staking dilution. Let's just look at the rest. Check out how the unlocks happened in step functions and how those steps tended to decline over time. There is still one large upcoming step. Let's zoom into that exact point in time. Let's see when this is going to happen. The answer is here on the 20th of August. After the 20th of August, there won't be too many unlocks anymore. So a lot of the token dilution will be over. I see this as a very positive sign, right? This can potentially also support a floor. And so we've got several effects that can potentially support Avax. We've got very close support in all kinds of relative valuation charts. We've got an unlock that's going to be the last major unlock in just 2 weeks. We've got usage that's pretty constant over time in terms of traders, in terms of trading activity that's not declining. And so fundamentally, Avax is set up pretty well. The only big question mark is, will there be money overall flowing into crypto? If the stablecoin market cap can suddenly rise sharply again, then I'm a massive bull on Avax. Without that additional money, of course, it gets a bit harder. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. In case you do have Telegram, feel free to join us. The channel is completely free. The link is down below. I'm looking very much forward to chatting with you. Cheers.